All right, good evening, everyone. This is Jason Hoppen. I'm the Public Information Officer for Santa Cruz County. We're here with Brian Garcia from the National Weather Service, Dave Reed. He is the Director of the Office of Response, Recovery, and Resilience, and Under Sheriff Chris Clark. We wanted to give you another community update. We have some more significant weather coming our way, including some pretty severe rainfall overnight. We sent a code red alert for those of you that are signed up. You should have received it this morning. If you haven't signed up, just text SCR 911 to 99411. We also have some storm information on our homepage. Just go to santacruzcounty.us and there's a big red bar across the top. Click on that bar and there's some information for you there. So we're going to get started today with Brian with a little weather briefing.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Good evening, late afternoon, evening, I guess, everybody. Brian Garcia, National Weather Service. Thanks for taking the time to watch this little briefing here. So we do have some pretty significant weather coming for early Tuesday morning. That's when it's really going to start settling into our area. And then it's going to really ramp up as we get into like the mid-morning hours. So I think sunrise time frame. And then we get to late morning hours. It's going to be pretty strong, and we really won't taper out of it until we get into the afternoon. So what does that mean? Well, this is a satellite image showing the water vapor, essentially total precipitable water, how much moisture is available in the atmosphere to fall in our area. And this is a pretty vigorous little storm. So this Pineapple Express heading towards our area is gonna arrive overnight tonight. And we are starting to see just a few little echoes on our radar out there already, even starting to show up. So that's something we're going to be watching overnight tonight and into the early morning hours of tomorrow. We've already received a little bit of precip over the last 24 hours, so the soils remain saturated. Even up in the mountains, we've received upwards of a quarter-inch all the way up to an inch, depending upon exactly where you're at, just in the past 24 hours without any big storm system coming through. So what are we looking at here? Well, we're looking at some high winds with the system coming through, as well as some heavy rains. And so I'll try to show the high winds in a couple different ways here. Let's see if I can pull this over here. So these are the high winds across Santa Cruz County here. Look at this. We're looking up in the 40s, 50s, potentially even 60, maybe even seeing a 70-mile-per-hour gust up across the very peaks of the Santa Cruz Mountains. So then for rainfall, we're looking at anywhere from a couple inches down here in the coastal terrace area, all the way up to 4 to potentially 6 inches of rain. There are a few models out there that do predict a little bit more rain than even this graphic is showing. So we are going to have quite a bit of rain. And as such, we do have a flood watch in place as well. So look for flood advisories and warnings to emanate from our office through the early morning hours and well through all the AM hours, really potentially tomorrow. And in terms of the rivers, creeks, and streams, we will see sharp rises on all of our rivers, creeks, and streams throughout the county as we go through the AM hours tomorrow. As I zoom in here, you can see here, just as a quick snapshot, the San Lorenzo up at Big Trees. The forecast right now is for it to go to 21.6, but this river can have a mind of its own. So let's be prepared for anything that we can out there. So we could end up in 22, 23 foot land, or we could come in a little bit lower if the rainfall doesn't fall in that watershed. But we need to be prepared for on the Salsapuedes, the Aptos, Sacal, Corralitos, all the creeks and streams out there will have some issues. So all that said, like Jason said, make sure that you sign up for the Santa Cruz County alerts so that you can get the alerts in real time. Make sure that you have your phones turned on overnight. Make sure things are charged and be prepared now so that you know when to take action overnight or during the day tomorrow as a result of the flooding or the winds. And the winds are going to be howling tomorrow. Make sure you take care, everybody.
You're muted, Jason, but I'll go ahead and get started. Good evening, everybody. Dave Reed, OR3. Our Emergency Operations Center is again activated at a level 1, which is our highest activation level. Brian Garcia is actually in our EOC with us and has been giving us the best available and most up-to-date information for us to make determinations on what to do. So I know Chris will go into the details on evacuation warning and order, but I wanted to give folks a little bit of an update on what we've been working on over the last few days. So as most of you know, the levee of the Pajaro River on the Monterey County side breached in the last storm event, flooding the community of Pajaro. The county of Santa Cruz is hosting many of those who were evacuated from the community at the fairgrounds. It is being currently operated, that shelter is being currently operated by Monterey County, but we have had an amazing compassionate outpouring of support and interest in support and ways to ask, and folks have been asking how to support those community members from Pajaro that are in our shelter in the fairgrounds. And so the most important thing right now, as we get them settled and configured at that location, is everybody has been asking about donations. And the best and most effective way that you can support those community members is through donating to the Community Foundation. They've got a link on their website, the Santa Cruz County Community Foundation, and we'll put that in the Facebook chat. They are collecting funds, and that gives us the most flexibility to support a community. So often folks want to donate clothing and things of that nature. We may get to that place where we're taking in donations. We're not there yet in terms of operations. We do not want to compromise the capacity of that shelter with an unmanaged donation plan. So we're asking folks to hold off on donating material goods until we're more organized and know what the needs are. And if you want to donate now, providing cash through the Community Foundation is the best way to do that. Again, the shelter is being operated by Monterey County because they're Monterey County residents. We are supporting and coordinating as much as we can. The other thing, obviously, that has happened because of that flooding is that the Highway 1 closure. And what we've seen in this kind of first full day, work day of that closure is that it is creating a very difficult traffic situation in our South County. All of our South County roads in and out of the 129 corridor as people try to find alternate faster routes to get onto or off of 129 are impacted. So if you don't have to travel, if you can work from home and you live in the South County or you live in Monterey County and need to and work in Santa Cruz County, we're really trying to keep traffic as light as we can right now. The traffic on the 129 corridor is actually impacting the levee reconstruction and repair efforts on the Monterey side. So I know that that's difficult to get off those and stay off those roads if you work, but just want to give that plug to folks that if you have the flexibility, we want to have you try and stay off those roads to avoid the congestion and the commute times and impacts that it's having on 129. Obviously, we're going to be watching very closely with our Caltrans partners and Monterey County partners as this storm comes in, and hopefully we don't lose Highway 129 to some sort of damage. So we'll be watching that closely. Lastly, we've been just trying to communicate, as Jason said, through our Code Red system to give you alerts and warnings and updates on overall items that are going on or concerns. And with that, I'll hand it over to Chris Clark, our undersheriff, to talk about kind of what's up for the next 24 to 36 hours with regards to alert and warning.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Chris Clark, the undersheriff of the Sheriff's Office here in Santa Cruz. And what I thought I'd do, just as Dave mentioned, kind of give you a little bit of a synopsis over what we've been doing, what we'll continue to do over the next 24 hours. But really, before I go there, I just want to just express how just our hearts go out to all the families and those affected from the county, all the folks that are affected by what's going on in Pajaro. We've been down there the last few days and just incredible the level of really compounding issues that's happening to our sister city to the south. So so in terms of what we are doing, so you may have, so basically if you live in one of the areas that's seen flooding in the past, like Felton Grove, Paradise Park, the downtown SoCal area, and then areas in and around the Salsapuedes and Corralitos Creek, the Pajaro River, you likely got a Code Red warning just a few moments ago, alerting you to the fact that those zones are back in an evacuation warning status. And really, as you heard Brian mention, the weather's there's potential that this storm could bring additional flooding. We really hope it doesn't, but just to err on the side of caution, as you heard Brian say, this is the time to make all those preparations as so many of you have done in all of these events leading up to today. But all of the same goes for tonight, right? So those areas were put into an evacuation warning, and we'll have additional staff throughout the night. In fact, from until about midnight, we've got 22 deputies that are out. We'll have an additional 11 going into the early morning hours, and then another 22 starting first thing tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to make sure that we have folks in the field, that if any of this turns to a direction that really we would hope it wouldn't, you can rest assured we've got a lot of people in the field to be able to support helping people. And so with that, we have been asked to help with Monterey County and their efforts to keep kind of the area safe in Pavro. So our office has been lending help to them, and we've been communicating with them fairly routinely. But a lot of work, on the county side, making sure that we're trying to do everything we can to support everybody that lives here in the county, and to support our partners in North Monterey County. And so that's all I have, and really just hope that you take care of yourself, your families, and stay safe today and as we go into tomorrow. That's all I have. Dave, back to you, Jason.
Well, thank you, Undersheriff. So just a couple quick notes before we head out. I have put if you can make a financial donation to support flood victims, there's a link in the chat. Just click on that link and follow the directions there. A couple other notes. One quick note on school closures. There have been some school closures already. Those decisions are made at the district level. So please pay attention to any communications coming out of your local school district. There may be widespread impacts tomorrow in terms of travel and localized flooding. So just be aware and stay safe, everyone. Thank you. Goodbye.